Hey guys, it's Nick again here at the front of the episode. Just want to let you guys know again about the Stand Against Evil fan club that you can go to on Facebook. You can hop on over there and show all your love for all things Stand Against Evil, as well as participate in some of the fun trivia they got going on over the weekends. And also for any of our international listeners, just want to let you guys know that Stand Against Evil has been picked up by Fox UK and is airing on 11:30 p.m. Thursdays. Thank you guys so much, and let's get to the show. Travis.
Yeah.
Do you know what the two ingredients are to this show to make it great? Showmanship and pizzazz.
Okay, jazz hands.
Welcome to Pod Against Evil. Oh my goodness, I am excited to talk about Stand Against Evil today because...
It's a rather weird episode.
Well, indeed it is. And who's talking about this weird episode? Why, it's me, Nick, the Merc with a Mic, and my fellow unapologist, God of the Pod,
Travis.
Yes, and welcome to Pod Against Evil, where we talk about every episode of Stand Against Evil one at a time.
Word for word.
Word for word. We go over it, every dialogue, every bit, word for word to analyze it. No, I think not even a single person would be that crazy. I say that knowing that there's probably is a podcast that breaks down an episode of TV word by word.
Dragon Ball Z, word for word.
A lot of it is grunting.
And screaming.
But anime references aside, let's talk a little bit about today's episode, because we are talking about Season 2, Episode 4, Girls' Night.
Girls' Night.
Girls' Night, it's Ladies' Night, and oh, what a night. So... this is an interesting episode, at least to me it is. Mm-hmm. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, so I'll just do IMDb's description here.
Of course.
When the bachelor on a TV dating show hypnotizes Evie and the same man bets on Stan's life, they all become prey to a murderous game of fate.
I guess that's roughly what happens.
Kind of. I'm gonna have issues with they're both in a game of fate.
Right.
Like that, I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. But let's break it down. Let's start it off.
All right.
Okay, so we start off in what was the exact date that we start off in?
1800 something. It was old-timey times.
But the subtitle goes, old-timey times.
Yes.
Have I mentioned how in season 2 I love the chirons, the subtitles more and more? Mm-hmm. Because they are starting to get truly, truly hilarious to me.
They're really playing it up.
So yeah, we see that it is a fun fair that's going on. We get the old-timey screen filter that you can put on your Snapchat or whatnot. Mm-hmm. It's going on. We see a man doing the whole, 3-card Monty, but with the P. I'm not sure what you call it. What do you call that game? Like, it is like 3-card Monty, but not with cards. It's the P and the fucking, coconuts or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what you call it.
I don't know the proper name for that.
Nah.
But it's where you shuffle around the coconuts and try to guess where's the P.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The thing that Toph cheated at in Avatar Last Airbender.
Yes.
If you want to go to that deep cut. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, we see our swindler, our man... played by Jeffery Combs, of all fucking people. Mm-hmm. You remember Jeffery Combs, don't you, Travis?
Yes. From
one of our Netflix and kills. Mm-hmm. The reanimator himself.
That was a good one, too.
So, he's really playing up this role, too. This whole, pizzazz line that he has, he's really playing it up for the audience. He's playing to the cheap seats on this episode. Mm-hmm. He is giving away prizes, which might be some of my favorite prizes that I give away at a fair. You can win either a Bible or a husk of corn. Because this is Willard's Mill in bumfuck wherever Willard's Mill is.
I feel like no one would take the Bible, because I'm guessing back then they probably all had Bibles already.
When they all, what is it, supply and demand? I mean...
everyone probably taking the corn.
And then who should show up to harass him but the constable, played by Jonah Ray. For those of you who don't know who Jonah Ray is, if you've seen the most recent Mystery Science Theater, he's that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's Jonah from Mystery Science Theater. So it's it's interesting to see him without his like immediate facial hair. It took me a little bit to recognize him. I was like,
or robots accompanying him.
I'm like, I know this motherfucker. Why do I feel like he should be giving me weird commentary on bad sci-fi movies? But yeah, it is a fun exchange that they have because he gets roped into playing the game because of course, like every other sheriff in Willard's Mill, he's kind of a moron. I feel like there's a little bit of that going on with the sheriff's curse as well.
Well, to be fair, I think the only one that would take a position that's cursed is kind of a moron.
Sure. So we go to the wager, in which because our Jonah Ray sheriff wins the first time round, and then
he's very happy about it too.
Yeah, he is ecstatic. It is like the highlight of his fucking day.
It's like, let's make this more interesting. Impossible.
It's impossible to make this more fun and interesting. Don't you want to give me a heart attack, my good man? So we see them make the wager.
Well, perhaps we should make it more interesting.
Impossible.
I will hide the pea again. Should you find it, you may take all of my wares. But should you fail, you must take your own life.
A dark jest. Okay, one more time.
And I'm like, I don't think he ever actually accepted the deal, actually. He said, like, oh, what quite a jest, and then they just kind of played.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if, like, what the rules are to this wager thing, but he inevitably loses, and he has to kill himself, to which he just basically takes out his own gun, shoots himself on the spot, getting blood over all that wonderful corn husk.
Such a waste of corn.
We flash to the intro, and after that we see Stan dealing with some water damage to the ceiling. He's poking at it, he's like, oh goddamn, it's like putty. Foreshadowing. Some real early foreshadowing here. So we will come back to this water damage, but first we gotta pick on Denise.
Yes, because she's Denise.
Because it's 5 minutes into the episode and we're overdue.
Denise, I think the tub is leaking.
That's weird. So is my waterbed.
You what? You don't have a waterbed?
Oh, I do now. I emptied my beanbag chair. Then I took the hose and
Sweetheart, go ahead and get the door. Step outside, I'll lock it, and then everything will be great.
Yeah, that's alright. This story basically told itself.
Yeah, we're done here.
Yeah, and so Stan tells her to get to the door, open it, get to the other side and close it, and then I'll lock it, and then my problems will be solved. But who should be at the door? Why, it's Evie.
The other one.
The other one, as Stan puts it. That's every once in a while it's just like Stan's like, great, now the other one.
I mean, to be fair, it seems like there's even now in this season 2, there's still a very small amount of people.
Yeah, so we couldn't afford all those people in the first episode, Travis. We couldn't afford them having every episode.
I suppose.
So this is a very insular episode. We have 2 locations. We have Stan's house and the bar, and then there's some flashback stuff going on. But right now we have Evie coming over for girls' night, in which they watch The Fiancé, which is this universe's version of The Bachelor.
Right.
That apparently only has Jennifer's on it, which was an odd detail.
That was really strange.
I believe we had Jennifer S. to begin with. We have a couple other Jennifer's letters later that we'll hit up. I actually wrote down their individual letters to see which ones I could find.
Oh, okay.
So they start talking about like, yeah, I really do just love that show. So they love some trashy, reality TV. So good on them. Stan is like, so
I'm serious, Evie. Instead of watching all those hooers going out and trying to get themselves a husband, you could slap on a little lipstick and go get one yourself.
Oh, yeah? Then what?
Then you have to go through all that bullshit. So, yeah, pretty much got me there. It is all pointless, isn't it? I'm going to a bar.
Oh, damn it, you got me there. You know what? It is all is pointless. I'm going to go to a bar. So,
again, that's one of the things that really telling how similar these two characters actually are.
yeah, I really did like that she was able to just throw it right back into his face. Like, and then what, jackass? So he does, we get to see a little bit of the show because it's playing at the bar that he ends up at.
Will the fiancé sent home?
Oh, Jesus.
Will it be Jennifer M., who teaches CPR to the blind, or Jennifer S., the amputee with the voice of an angel?
And then we see, because it's also narrated by Jeffrey Combs, the show is. We see Jeffrey Combs show up behind Stan in a very flamboyant fashion, to the point where I don't actually blame Stan this time for when he shows up, like, hey, my friend, let me buy you a drink. And he comes up like he's using these weird hand motions. He's like sidles up to him too, and it's like glory holes in the bathroom, Liberace. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let this one assumption go. Like,
Oh, but just hold on. Stan keeps up with it.
and he's like, glory hole, what the fuck? Like, never mind, whatever. He makes this wager with him. I bet you can't take this dollar from this bottle on top of it without knocking over the bottle or something. And Stan's just like, he just grabs it and knocks over the bottle like, oh, there you go. You won. You won. Congratulations.
Because obviously this is Stan. He barely cares about people to begin with.
So I do love, of course, Stan's old curmudgeonly standard of just like, who fucking cares about this dumb bet? We cut back to Ladies' Night, in which we see Denise just stick a straw into a giant box of wine.
Yes.
I respect that. I actually respect that on a lot of levels.
I don't really know how much wine you'd be able to get in there, though, unless it's a huge-ass straw.
I imagine it must be a Denise-sized straw of just like, or maybe she just does the regular straw, and then after a certain amount of wine, she can't get at it anymore. And then just kind of gives up.
So, like, dogs with a peanut butter?
Sure. Look, I'm not going to analyze the whole logic of Denise's actions here. I'm just going to say I mad respect just not having even a glass, just sticking a straw in a box of wine going like, nah, this is mine. I'm not worried about, it's a giant juice box to me.
I'm worrisome.
I'm watching The Fiancé with my bestie, and I'm putting a straw into a box of wine. So... I believe they talk back and forth a little bit, Evie and Denise. I think Jennifer T gets knocked out. She's our first elimination.
Oh, not Jennifer T. She's my favorite.
And Evie says that she thought Jennifer T would not last long. She got a lot of strong lesbian vibes off of Jennifer T, which is a weird thing to say on a bachelor show in which she is supposed to be hooking up with a dude. So I'm not exactly sure what are the rules to this show in which you could get lesbian vibes from a contestant on what is supposed to be a heteronormative, like...
Well, it's more about making the money than anything else, so...
Sure, but I'm like, maybe she's, she should have hid her lesbian vibes. Like, was that the whole thing? To get order to get the money?
Maybe.
Or whatever? And yeah, I believe Denise fires back.
I got the same vibes from the woman at the bank who's a lesbian.
And I just love Denise. Just like, Evie just goes like, what? And I'm like, yeah, because what you said was smart. Like,
fair enough.
Because what you said made total sense, Evie. Let's not judge here. And then I think Denise goes to get some popcorn, and the TV starts to talk to Evie. I believe it's not the first time a TV has talked to a character in this show.
Well, last time I think Evie was one talking through the TV.
Via Hitler.
Via Hitler, yes.
So I remember that as a fun time. This time it's Jeffrey Combs as the fiancé himself talking to Evie, making her part of the show. She immediately gets invoked in this like it's a spell cast over her.
Yeah.
We cut back to the bar. And it's down to Jennifer M. or Jennifer S. They are both in the running now. Only one of them's going to get the rose. But neither Jeffrey Combs or Stan are paying attention. And let's see what here is. The egg bet is the next thing that assumes.
Yeah.
I'll wager you that the next patron will order whiskey whiskey and water and one of those eggs.
No one's gonna order those eggs. They're stored in that comb juice from the barber shop.
Barkeep, I'll have a whiskey and water and one of those eggs.
All right, laugh all you want, but in about 4 minutes, your ass is gonna open up like that elevator in The Shining.
And that's such a very, man, that's such a visual.
That's descriptive.
That is, yes. That is, every once in a while, Stan is a poet, with his fucking words. I really like that, how gross that descriptor is. In the meantime, Evie is screaming about makeup. She is accusing Denise of stealing her makeup, in which she's like, go and get me some makeup. And I think one of my favorite lines here is,
Mommy needs makeup!
No. The best line is,
I need a living woman's makeup!
I need a living woman's makeup.
because, there's no context needed for that line at all. It's the fact that Denise says she doesn't have any makeup, offers to go get her mom's makeup, which of course, does not make Evie happy because Evie doesn't want no dead woman's makeup. So she demands a living woman's makeup.
Yes. So while she's having her demands met, Stan is watching our Jeffrey Combs just put away all these eggs, and he is like, "Oh, damn it! You're like a demon or fucking monster or something.
Human.
You're not human." And Jeffrey Combs is like, "Yeah, you got me."
This might be the first time that someone just came out and admitted, yeah, I'm here to kill you.
Yeah. So Stan's like, "Hey, you know what? While I got you here, can I ask you about Gerard Duquette, who is the guy whose name showed up in the second episode, I believe, in which Thaddeus Eccles' daughter, the sheriff's daughter, told him, like, hey, if you want to go, back in time and save your wife, this is the guy you need to find and talk to. So he's straight up just like, I like that Stan is just like, as first he sees a villain or a demon or whatever, is just like, hey, yeah, I know, we're gonna put the whole killing me thing on hold. Do you know this guy? You know this guy I'm looking for? And I do love that he tells I know a Thaddeus Eccles, and he goes into his, backstory of being, burned at the stake. And he's like, yeah, I'm here to kill you. And Stan's like, yeah. I know that's why you're here. I'm here to do this thing. So maybe we can help each other out. It's like they're not, he's very so used to them trying to kill him that he wants to work in this deal in between.
It's not a very tense situation, even if he's finding out that someone's here to kill him.
Mm-hmm. And this is where we get the line of showmanship and pizzazz.
My witch's brew. It's just 2 ingredients. Showmanship and pizzazz.
He wants to give Stan a head start because of here's the showmanship, and then Stan can't actually leave the bar, which is yeah, I was just kidding. Anyway, here comes the pizzazz, and then he gives the jazz hands. Mm-hmm. And we see Stan's flashback, and this is interesting because this is flashback to the reason he became sheriff.
Which, wow, didn't really know there was a reason.
Yeah, I know, and I was just like, really? There's a reason? Because later it'll say I love telling people what to do, and I love guns, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured that was the reason too.
Yeah,
I didn't realize there was a whole mythos behind it. But yeah, there is a mythos. As a kid, he was playing around the woods, and he saw a guy who was fishing have a heart attack or something, and he was going up to try and see if he can get help him or go get help, and then the guy grabs his leg. Because he's panicking, because he's dying.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, so anyway, I knew that this guy was dying, and that he was sure as hell going to try and take me down with him. And I was like, how, Stan? How is grabbing your leg going to kill you? And then he's like, so I got really mad, so I just ended up kicking the shit out of that guy, out of this dying guy. And I think he says, yeah, that's what I really realized, that I wanted to become sheriff. And then he's like, wouldn't that make you want to become a doctor? And he's like, no, I loved kicking the shit out of that guy. It was awesome. Plus, I love telling people what to do and guns.
So basically, he decided that he wanted to become the sheriff because he enjoyed beating the shit out of a dying man. Yep. That's telling.
Oh, yeah. So, I love this next line, too, because our Jeffrey Combs talks about his death at the hands of Thaddeus Eccles, and he's like, can you imagine dying there, just knowing you're going to die while someone watched? Paralleling it to what Stan just did, and going yeah, I know that you're not Eccles and stuff, because even Stan's like, I'm not that guy, right? And neither is Evie. And he's like, yeah, I know that. Like, well, sometimes you gotta let that shit go, Jazz Hands. And he actually calls him Jazz Hands in the episode.
Yeah, he does.
Which is pretty funny. And I do like yeah, you're not Eccles, but it doesn't mean you're a fucking nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we get the corpse attack, in which I believe the corpse of the guy that Stan kicked to death, basically. Or at least kicked until he was no longer holding him as
he was dying no matter what, I guess, but...
So the corpse attacks Stan. We cut back to Evie.
Well, no. We watched Stan for a while, because all he's doing this whole entire time is the corpse dragging down was going, no. Just
I mean, it does, it seems like it is triggering his memory of, that is an unpleasant memory for him.
Could be. He just says, hey, no, the whole entire time, rather than trying to do anything.
I mean, if I were to say that, Stan's actual origin in this episode, if I were to go into his psychology for a minute, I would say that we could believe Stan when he says, I love kicking the shit out of the guy. But if we were to believe it as an actual childhood memory, it would be more like, I felt very powerless in that moment as this guy. I had to learn about mortality, and I was scared as shit as I was powerless against this guy's grip. Being powerless in the face of death. And I believe, I wanted to become sheriff because I wanted to get power back, and get control over my life, because in that moment I was lacking control. But I'm not really here to psychoanalyze Stan.
No, of course not.
It could just be that he really enjoys beating the shit out of people. Anyway, Evie is receiving her engagement knife, which is weird. So she's got the makeup all over her face. I do love that she's basically starts to play Jack Nicholson, if Jack Nicholson was a contestant on The Bachelor.
That sounds all right, yeah.
So that's not... So that's interesting. And I think Jeffrey Combs starts to tell him, well, Denise did start to say that you weren't here for the right reasons, in which Janet gets I love Janet Varney's look on her face in this episode of, she gets a lot of crazy looks in this. She gets, to stretch her, look absolutely insane while holding this knife and have makeup all over your face.
Yes.
Anyway, Stan has crawled out of the hole, and I do love that he narrates, I'm good. I'm alright. Yeah, it's like Jeffrey Combs' character would even care. He's like, that's alright, I'm good, I'm out. I managed to get out of here. And then suddenly Jeffrey Combs starts to play with his car. He's like,
I have an idea for a sparkling wager.
I'll crawl right back in the goddamn hole.
I'll crawl right back in the goddamn hole.
Stan's response is so fucking funny here. It's one of those moments on the show where I'm like, man, this timing is great.
Yeah, it is.
Where he starts to turn around. I was like, I'm gonna get back in the fucking hole.
He does start crawling towards it.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get right back in the goddamn hole. He's just the way he delivers the line is so deadpan funny. It's really good. And yeah, the other wager they make is, I'm going to bet you that if we get back home, one of your loved ones will have murdered one of your other loved ones, and then you will murder them. And I'm like, wow, what a crazy specific bet. And so it doesn't really give Stan a chance to even really accept the deal. So we cut back to Evie on the couch watching as Denise sits in the kitchen going, oh crap, I have a crazy person in my home. I know I should call the cops, but the crazy person in my home is the cops. Oh my god, that sounds like the start of a rap song. To which she starts to beatbox.
When there's a crazy person in your house, you call the cops. But the crazy person in my house is the cops. Oh my god. Oh my god, that sounds like a rap song. There's a crazy person in my house. Yeah.
Which is amazing, I believe.
Such a Denise thing.
Oh, so Denise. Denise is at peak Denise in this episode.
She's very top tier Denise.
You do you, Denise. You do you.
Only get murdered for it, though.
Oh, but who should show up is Deputy Drinkwater.
The last person in town.
Who ordered a one-man panty raid.
Oh, God. He says that line.
So, I would like to preemptively
of course.
Give the award for MVP, Most Vile Person. Deputy Drinkwater, we didn't even know you were going to be in this episode, but you pull it out at the end with the one-man panty raid line. My God, that's some good under the wire shit right there. That deserves the slow clap. My God,
we could have gotten away with Stan with all his homophobia going around as he was doing this whole episode, but no, Drinkwater he pulls it in there. It's just like, why are you here?
I only have a few lines in this episode, so I gotta make sure that they're the grossest ever. So Evie shows up with the knife and is like, "I'm not here to make fucking friends," and starts to shout crazy shit.
You know, a little bird told me you've been trying to sabotage my fairy tale ending.
Evie, I don't know what you're talking about. We're friends.
I didn't come here to make friends.
Mother's fudge!
Drinkwater has another one of his girlish screams, which are always pretty fun. I don't know why, I always enjoy his screams for whatever reason. Probably because I enjoy him being in mortal peril.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like, yeah, he's vile, but at the same time, him showing up actually solves a lot of problems, because if he dies, I'm guessing the prophecy probably wouldn't come true then.
Sure.
Because no one considers Drinkwater a loved one. No one.
So they managed to close the door to Denise's room, and Evie stabs through the door.
And what is her door made of?
The door seems to be made of silly putty.
Yeah, it's just like, it kind of folds in, but it's like still solid.
Well, it's one of those moments where I'm like, okay, they wanted to get the knife to stab through the door, so they made the door out of a weaker, they made a prop door out of weaker material so the knife could stab through, but they didn't reinforce the sides of it because the door basically folds in on itself a little bit in a very obvious manner. I was like, oh, wow, really? That's of course, another low-budget charm to this show, but still, it struck me as very odd. I was like, how is, like, because later she stabs the door multiple times, too, and she's stabbing an obviously actual door. Like,
but it kind of looked like it was made of, like, a cardboard paper or something.
Yeah, not sure, like, you'd think they'd reinforce their doors, considering how many times their house gets attacked, but...
It's true.
I don't know. Maybe they're just not concerned about it. Maybe they just like the idea of styrofoam doors.
It's some feng shui or something.
Yeah, it really helps the energy of the house, Travis. Especially
Yes.
when you have constant demon possession and stuff like that. You can't go wrong with the energy of a styrofoam boudet.
Sure, let's go with that.
Let's see, what happens? Like, oh yeah, Evie starts to yell some more crazy shit. We get the full Jack Nicholson with her near the door. Like, I'm surprised she didn't just, cut a hole in it and we see, like, here's Evie line. But we do get, like, the whole, like, hey.
Denise, open up. I've forgiven you.
No!
I want to be your friend.
It's a real good chance for Janet Varney to really stretch her craziness. She's at like peak nuts here at the door screen. The shot is up from the bottom. We see her from the bottom up as this low angle from the door really highlights this fucking crazy nasty energy of the shot. I really like it. Yeah, we see her bust in and she gets the wrong door. She thinks she's in the bathroom. They cut out from the closet.
Look who came out of the closet. Both of them.
Which seems to, like, Evie takes forever to follow them. Like, she takes forever to get back into the scene. Because later, because they run to the living room where Jeffrey Combs and Stan have showed up. And he's like, God damn it, you should be dead by now. And then Evie does finally show up when, like, behind him, but right before she can stab Denise in the back, she sees her, her love, her fiance. It's like, oh, hey, honey, thank you for my engagement knife. It's like, it's you. I can't wait to be, start our lives together. Like, well, neither can I, honey. But there's that other woman, in which Evie gives this hiss that is just amazing, just like this, shh, yar. And Stan finally was like, hey, you lost the fucking bet. So, I do love, like, yeah, I mean, I could have just killed you, but I had to do something special. Because you gotta admit, it was an awesome plan. Evie kills Denise, you kill Evie, and then in the fit of grief, you kill yourself. But
still seems really convoluted.
Oh, these demons and their convoluted, overcomplicated plans. And then Stan's like, gets like, what do I win? You get to die the old-fashioned way, dumbass. in which he transforms into a weird version of the Green Goblin?
I guess? I don't know what that was.
I'm not exactly sure. He has an extended chin. His forehead gets a little bit more definition, and then he gets like kind of pointy ears. So I'm like, he makes him look like kind of an elf for a goblin thing. And I was just like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, it only shows up for a half second, but I'm not exactly sure what that had to do with his con
I guess
artistry.
they just didn't really like worry too much about it because, again, he doesn't stay in it for too long.
Yeah, so I do love that, like, Stan's another misogynist line. Stan has, like,
You know where you went wrong? Women. They take too long to do everything. Hell, they take an hour to be back in 5 minutes.
It's actually a pretty good line.
that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like, out of all the misogynistic humor, I was like, okay, that was actually funny. Like, I mean, Stan proposes one more wager, and he's like, I think you're gonna like it. In which he proposes a coin toss. Mm-hmm. And he says, okay, so if it comes up heads, I kill Evie, and then you can kill me. But if it comes up tails, Evie kills me, then you kill Evie, and then I guess Drinkwater if you want to. Which Drinkwater's like, hey, what the fuck? But if it doesn't come up heads or tails, then you have to let us all go free and take your own life.
And that seems like a sucker's bet to anyone listening.
So I guess, like, I don't know what Jeffrey Combs thinks, like, how he does not see the trick coming here. Because you'd figure, like, oh, maybe Stan, like, is trying to bet, like, the coin will come down
on its side.
You know. Like, I've seen that in a couple other shows where the neither heads or tails gets picked because it comes down on its side or whatever.
That does not happen.
Actually, I think in another Devil show I saw that. I think I saw that in Reaper. Ah, damn it, now I can't remember it. But we see it, and I do love when I was watching, because we watched this together. I do love Travis's, like, openly states, like, oh, he's gonna throw it into the water damage, you clever bitch. Like,
I think that was actually my line.
I did love, like, it was so sassy. I was just like, hey, it was, it ended up being absolutely correct, though, because Stan counts to 3 and throws it up into the...
Yeah, he doesn't even flip the coin. He literally just, like throws it in the air.
And it's like, yeah. And I love Jeffrey Combs is like, no, god damn it. So you're just gonna stand there and watch me die? And it, this whole coming back full circle to what we set up previously with his death with Eccles and Stan watching that old guy die. And I love Stan's response because he's like,
You're just gonna stand there and watch!
Actually, I'm gonna go catch the end of Sports Center. All the best.
It, like, does not even stay.
wow. So there's that.
It's kind of cold, but at the same time, technically it's what he wanted.
And I do love that before he dies, he gets off one last pizzazz. And I do love this because we've had Jennifer T, Jennifer M, and Jennifer S, and I thought, like, okay, I'll never figure out what the fourth Jennifer's name is, because there's 4 of them.
Right.
In the initial thing, I'm like, damn it, I guess I don't know what Jennifer's last name is. But...
No.
Oh, but last minute here, because Drinkwater ends up leaving, he's just like, well, call me next week for girls' night if you want, because this was fun. And after the door shuts, it's like the spell breaks on Evie, in which he goes,
Which is why, Jennifer L., what the fuck?
what the fuck?
And Evie's back.
So we get the final line from Evie where she's, finally back, and we get to know Jennifer L's last initials.
Right.
So I was like, yes, the mystery is solved. And I do love the fact that she's basically lost a whole night, like a whole
She
evening.
just does not remember.
In another line where Janet, like, there's a lot of points where, Evie almost swears in the show. I remember the smile, you son of a bitch, and then, like, after that it was like, motherfucker, like, she mouths it, and this one she almost says fuck. Like, there's a lot of points where they almost drop the F-bomb in the show, which is, it's pretty funny, like, it's like the one place they can't go, apparently. But the characters so want to. And yeah, that brings us to an end of this episode. So a very strange episode.
A little bit, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I like the aesthetic of the guy making the wager and this whole con artist thing of like he was one, like it's a smart move to like, oh, he was a con artist, he obviously got accused of witchcraft and just got burned. So it makes sense that there was a guy like this in the, witch repertoire of Willard's Mill.
Right.
I'm not sure the fiance bachelor show.
It seems like a convoluted way to get what he wanted.
It feels very random.
I mean, it's a great way of, again, showing off Janet Varney's skills. It just seems weird.
It just doesn't feel like it has anything to do with his con artistry.
No.
Like I thought they were going to say something about reality TV and how, like, it was also a big trick or something. But instead they just go with the obsessed fan of a reality show trope.
Right.
Rather than anything that Jeffrey Combs does as a trick. And I'm not sure if it was the actors, like an actor scheduling thing, because we only see Jeffrey Combs with Stan for most of the episode. And then Evie and Denise are by themselves for most of the episode too. So I'm wondering if this was some sort of
compromise.
Maybe some sort of shooting schedule thing or whatever. Because like Jeffrey Combs only talks to Evie through the TV for almost all of it, except for that last. They only share that one scene together. Now that I think about it,
it's true.
So I'm not sure what it was, but it definitely feels like the two stories feel disconnected even more so than usual in this episode. So I guess I would have appreciated if it was tied in a little bit together.
But you know what? Technically, Evie was not captured.
No, I mean, I guess she was taken over almost immediately. It's like she checks out very early in this episode.
Yeah, but it's an entertaining way of doing it, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, we get to see Evie in street clothes. We get to see street clothes Evie. Not a look we get to see all the time.
No.
So we get to see her in her, like, she has, like, this denim jacket outfit.
Yeah.
It's just, like, it's very, I don't know, it feels very appropriate for Evie. Like, it feels like Evie wear, if
Evie
you will.
wear. Your formal Evie wear has arrived.
Yeah, formal Evie wear is, I think we'll see maybe a little bit different, but this is like casual Evie wear. This is Evie chic. Evie denim chic. I enjoyed Denise probably the most in this episode.
As usual, Denise is always a treat.
I'm really liking Stan in this season. The more I watch of season 2, the more I'm really digging Stan as a character. Stan's misogynistic tones have been turned down. I like this whole, I need to find this guy in order to try and save my wife if I can. It gives him a very personal goal.
Yeah, I mean, it makes him a bit more human.
Yeah. And I do like that he just, as soon as he realizes the demon and he's got them there at the bar, he's just like, oh, let me ask you about this sort of thing here, because I got to figure out how to use these eyeballs in order to travel back in time a year to save my wife. So that's interesting. I'm wondering in this season if they are really going to go whole hog with the seeing Stan's, because we've seen Stan's wife before. We've seen her as an actress, so
yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility we would, time travel back and at least see her.
Whether or not they, revive her is a completely different question.
Sure. I would like to see what, I want to see Evie and Claire kind of meet up. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, thanks for saving my stupid husband.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nice. Maybe it would be like a time travel thing where they can't change they can't change the past and they have to let, Claire go or whatever.
Except for they already brought Echel's daughter to the present.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they moved her to a different point in the timeline.
Yeah, they already fucked up the timeline, so who cares? And yeah, I mean, I thought we were going to get a whole episode without Drinkwater, but he shows up right near the end.
He pulls it off.
I'll tell you what, the writers did find, how can we fit Drinkwater into a girls' night episode? Got it. Okay, one-man panty raid. Yeah, other than that, it's not a very plot significant episode. Not a whole lot actually happens in it. That deals with the overarching plot, very episode of the week, but that's pretty much how this show has been. I guess I've just been kind of more used to the two-parter kind of led me to believe that it might be a little more overarching story in this one.
Well, they did bring up the fact that, remember, Stan's looking for somebody.
I I'm interested to see where that mystery goes. I enjoy that we get to see some of the TV in Willard's Mill universe, even if it is a fake, like, witchcraft TV show. Like, how long have they been watching this show? How long has this demon been,
Well, it depends, like, is it just something that happened for that episode, or has, like, always been
Well, they
him?
recognize him as the fiancé.
Yeah.
When he shows up, like, oh my god, I love your show. And I'm like, how long has he been, what kind of long con is this?
Long con, I guess.
Like, what the, like, or maybe he's just messing with their memories or
I mean,
whatever.
that's also a thing. He likes showmanship and pizzazz, man.
Because even Drinkwater watches the show. He shows up to watch the show with them. So obviously it's more than just these two people
Right.
that watch this show. And then the show is on in the bar. Stan sees it. Like, it's obviously a thing established in this universe. Yeah, obviously, again, a distinct lack of people. Even, like, we see the bar.
And it's, like, empty.
We don't even see the bartender in that shot.
No.
Like, really? We don't even see a bartender?
Although, don't they give, like, some kind of excuse that it's, like, Tuesday or something?
So, I mean, I guess, but you'd figure there's gotta be someone working the fucking bar.
You'd assume, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, it's like, they keep talking like, hey, and they keep ordering drinks or whatever. We're like, are you... I get the distinct impression you're not ordering from anyone in particular. I don't think there's anyone in that fucking room with you guys.
Yeah, they're just taking it themselves.
Maybe it's more the fact that I see two really good actors really playing well off of one another, but it does feel like I don't feel like even any extras were in that room with them.
No.
So, yeah, interesting thing, because I remember praising the first couple episodes where I'm like, holy shit, people!
Not so much.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of sad to see, like, oh man, this episode feels like super empty, like so empty. Like we see, as far as new people, like as new people we see in the episode, we see Jeffrey Combs, and then 4 people on the TV, the 4 Jennifers, and then the guy Stan kicks to near death in the flashback.
I'm guessing not many of those are coming back.
No, so
I mean, technically, the guy in the flashback did come back, but
Yep. Anyway, I don't know. So this one might not it's not as strong as some of the I mean, we did just come off of Were Pony, so
True.
I think we were due for a kind of like a come down. Like, okay, let's come down.
not everything can be Were Pony.
Not all of them could be Were Ponies. That's for sure.
Still, I did like this episode, and it's all kind of its quirkiness. So
I do like Jeffrey Combs. I do like that they get these, because we get Jonah Ray in the beginning and then Jeffrey Combs. Like, I like that we're getting more noticeable, like, cameo actors in here. It's real fun.
I liked Crazy Evie. Crazy Evie was fun time.
Yeah, I do enjoy Janet being able to just go full nuts.
Chew that scenery.
Oh, yeah.
Chew it.
So another fun episode, and with that, I think we've pretty much covered everything. So unless we got anything else to add, let's just wrap this one up here.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate your listenership. That's what you call it, right?
I suppose, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks for being here.
That sounds right. Thanks for listening to our crazy antics is basically what I'm trying to get at here.
Yes.
If you would like to help out the podcast, you can give us a review on iTunes. Just, look us up on iTunes at Pod Against Evil. Give us a 5-star review, and that helps us out with visibility and all that good stuff. And you can follow us on Twitter at Pod Against Evil. You can also, follow us on Facebook at Pod Against Evil as well. Or you can email us at podagainstevil@gmail.com. If you're interested in hearing us talk about some other TV shows or other geeky stuff, or doing interviews with some other content creators and all that other good stuff, you can listen to our regular show at Unapologetic Geek Out, or the UGO podcast on iTunes. And with that, I think we can wrap it up, and we will see you guys next time for the episode 5, The Eyes of Evie Barrett. Ooh.
Okay.
But until next time, may the owls abide.
They always abide for me.
They always abide. Hey, that's not a bad... I think we found the outro. May the owls abide.
May the owls abide.
I think we finally found it.
Yay.
Holy shit. Legendary history in podcasting in the making. Love it.